Hey.
What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all better now. Ready to rock and
Yeah.
roll. So, just to give you a little overview, I figured we'd take a little bit early career, and then we'll knock down the UFC, and then we'll have some fun at the end. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. So, first of the psychedelic water fighter series, with Erin Cold-Blooded Blanchfield.
Yeah.
How is everything? Obviously, COVID, everything opening back up by you. I'm lucky being down here in Florida. I haven't had that problem.
Yeah, I mean, everything's been hasn't been too bad for me, like in my little world, like my gyms and everything have been open, so I've just been training and doing my normal things. Some things are a little bit weird, but for me it's been pretty good.
Um, let's cover the early stage of how you got here.
Okay.
Talk to me about the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu background. Obviously, did a little deep dive on the Instagram, a little bit of kickboxing in there. How did that end up taking you to where you are today?
Yeah, so I mean I started training when I was 7, in like no gi, jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. And then when I got a little older, I started training like gi jitsu. That's when I got into like a Henzo affiliate. I trained at Silver Fox, BJJ, and Henzo Gracie Academy. But when I was around like 12, 13, and like Ronda Rousey and then like Misha Tate were like coming up, I was already training for quite a few years, and I saw what they were doing, and I was like, oh, I know I can do that, and I just thought it was so cool. And from there is kind of like when I started getting more serious and when I kind of wanted to get into it professionally when I got older.
So on the BJJ side, obviously you were the EBI first 125 champion.
Yeah.
How did you decide to end up wanting to do that, and how was it meeting Eddie? Walk me through there.
Yeah, so I was only like 18 when I did that, but I remember to get into that, like I think like he put up some posts or something and you had to like whoever got like the most tags was like who got into it, but I didn't really have any following at the time. But I knew Eddie before that because I had family in California, so whenever I went out there to visit them, I'd go train at his gym. So I just messaged him on Facebook and I was like, "Oh, can I do it?" And he was like, "Oh, sure, you have a spot." So I got into that and no one thought I was gonna win. I was only like a purple belt, and I was like I think like one of the youngest people in the tournament. So winning that was a big thing for me.
A little bit of validation too, obviously, getting that 10 grand, taking down some black belts.
Yeah, for sure. It was funny because I remember like it didn't really bother me at all either. Like I remember getting there and seeing them all, and I was like, yeah, I was like, I knew I could win that. Like I don't know, but it was definitely fun. It was the first big thing I ever did.
Obviously, it's a good segue. Moving over to your professional career, uh, confidence wise, how was that having that championship under your belt when you started?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a confidence boost, like going into MMA. And I had striking like experience previously, but I knew that like going into MMA was gonna be totally different. Like I know my jiu-jitsu was good, but like strikes kind of change everything. But I felt prepared for it. My training and everything was good. So I got my first amateur fight in, and I won that. And then I was trying to get some more amateur fights, but like nobody wanted to fight me. I remember having like so many fights like fall out, just because of my previous experience. But I only had the one fight, so uh, I did get offered a professional fight, and I had a little bit of a hard time getting it. But the athletic commission allowed me to do it, and so I just went pro after that.
Um, your head kick KO was probably one of the gnarliest knockouts that year.
Yeah.
Do you think that obviously propelled you into the UFC? I know you had one more fight after that, but do you think that that was kind of, the stepping stone to get you where you are today?
Yeah, I think I definitely got some more eyes on me after that because I had a few wins under my belt before that. But they were like decision. Well, I had one finish, but the other fights were decisions and they were kind of close. So I feel like getting that knockout that was kind of like a little bit of a highlight reel. Like they show it still even before my fights, they still show it. Definitely like got some more eyes on me. It kind of helped me propel me quicker.
Yeah. Um, I guess talking about the UFC, how was that whole process? Was it? I've been lucky enough to speak with more than a few athletes now. What was that like when you got that call and you found out you were going? And how was the experience? How was the treatment? What was it like, kind of taking the next step to the big stage?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I first got the call, it was so like I didn't fight for like a while because I was supposed to fight for like the Invicta title, and then that got canceled because my opponent got COVID. So like I was still kind of waiting for a fight, and then I got the call for the UFC back in April. And I mean, I was super pumped about it. I mean, I knew it was kind of like the next step, like for my career. Like I knew if maybe I needed one or two more fights, I thought, but I knew that it was like a chance I can get called. And honestly, I mean, it was everything I kind of expected. It's super professional. Going to the PI and working out there was awesome. The fight week, like they give you all your food, like everything's so organized, and it's really nice, especially after coming from like the regional scene where, I mean, I get great experience there, but like going to the UFC is just, it's like another level.
It's funny that you say that. Obviously, there's been so many stars and champs that have kind of, come out of there. Was it kind of reassuring knowing that you had so much success there and kind of watched some of your predecessors, experience that same success in the UFC?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know like fighting in Invicta, I knew like it's a lot of high level opponents, so I felt super comfortable going into the UFC because I already had wins over UFC fighters. Like when I first got in already, the girls that got in before me that I beat in Invicta. So it was definitely a good experience going there and fighting high level people there.
What's kind of been the change, I guess, just in, obviously watching your last fight? It kind of seems like you might be ready for a decent step up in competition as far as your ranked opponent goes. What are you thinking now?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to fight someone ranked. I was kind of hoping that I might have been able to get into the rankings even with that fight, but it didn't happen. But I think my next opponent should definitely be ranked. I mean, I feel like I've proven that in my last two fights with like super dominant wins. So yeah, I definitely want to take it up a step.
She during the stare downs, it seemed like she was super intense. You definitely held true to your nickname, Cold Blooded.
Yeah.
Did it feel kind of good to go in there and have that dominant performance after kind of a little bit of shit talking before?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was supposed to fight Miranda like once or twice before, and it just didn't really happen. And I feel like she didn't really want to fight me, so I knew like everything was gonna be a little bit more intense than like maybe with other opponents. Um, but honestly, the mock weigh-ins and everything, that was my first time with like a whole crowd and like doing a real UFC weigh-in, so that was super fun. And I kind of liked that it was intense. I remember when she was walking at me, she just like walked in with like her arms crossed, and I was like, okay, whatever. And I knew like the second I got in there, I'm so comfortable in that cage. I kind of tell that she was a little bit like nervous, so I knew that was gonna like, be my fight the whole time.
Yeah, we never miss a post-fight press conference in my house. It's
Yeah.
one of the things we take pride in. And I actually kind of noticed one of the things you talked about is when she missed that first punch and you took her back, you said it was going to be a long night for her. So you kind of jump, huh?
Yeah, I definitely did. Because I remember, yeah, like slipped right under it and I took her back and she literally just like fell and I was like, oh, and I could just like feel like I remember going into that fight, everyone was like, oh, like one of her biggest assets is her strength. Like she's so strong, blah, blah. And I was like, the second I clinched with her, I was like, she doesn't have anything for me there. Um, so yeah, I kind of knew from the jump that that was gonna be my fight.
What are the division, I don't want to say stagnant because I guess it's not the right word, but when the champion's as dominant as she has been, what do you think? I mean, coming off of, like you said, two dominant performances, do you think that it's going to be something where, listen, they're going to give you a decently ranked opponent and it's going to be almost a fast track to, I don't want to say a title shot right away, but the top pretty quick, right?
I mean, it might be. I think they're trying to like make some new prospects that they can kind of build up to fight Valentina. I mean, I feel at this point I've had a good amount of experience, so I'm not really worried about that. Like I know they're gonna still probably take a little bit of time. Like I haven't even gotten to the rankings yet, so I need to fight someone at least in the rankings and work my way up from there. But honestly, fighting Valentina is the goal. I kind of hope she's still the champ when I get there because I kind of want to derail that like that hype train that she has a little bit. Um, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I guess just looking at the division, I know that you said you fight anybody anytime. Is there anybody you kind of have in mind or you'd like to?
Oh, I mean, no one like super particular right now. I mean, if they wanted to make that matchup with Macy again, I would definitely be down for that. I think it'd be a perfect fight. Like she's ranked like number 13, I believe, and she hasn't fought in a while, and I think she's supposed to be ready to fight soon, hopefully, and I'm ready to go. So that might be a good
When,
matchup.
when do you want to get back in? I know you said early this year. We're definitely here, so you're hoping sooner than later?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I know like April 9th they have a show in the Barclays Center, which would be really cool. because I'm in Jersey, so that'd be like home crowd and everything. But even if it's not that show, definitely like April, May, like latest.
So speaking of home crowd, I know your family has been very close with you throughout this journey, and I think you said your brother's in your corner for every fight, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. How is that? I have siblings myself, and I know that it can be a lot of fun. And also, there are very few people on this planet that know how to push somebody better than a sibling. So,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been training with my brother. Like we started training together since we were kids. Like I'm 3 years older than him. But he fights like amateur MMA too. So I mean, he's super. I love having him in my corner because he's a little small. He's like a smaller guy. He's like fights at 35, so we're around the same size. He can move around with me during fight week. He helps me cut weight, and honestly, we just push each other to get better. So I love having him in my corner.
um, what do you think? I know, obviously, you fought twice last year in a pretty short period. How many times do you want to fight this year?
I want to get like three in this year. I think would be a good number. I was happy I was able to get those two in last year because I didn't fight for a while before that. But definitely three, I think would be a good pace.
Yeah. I guess let's jump over to some more fun stuff.
Okay.
Let's talk about the
Oh
psychology.
yeah, I got mine too.
What's the favorite flavor so far?
This one right now, the Oolong Orange Blossom, that's my favorite one right now.
Yeah, I think so too. It used
Yeah.
to be blackberry and yuzu, but that has overtaken as my favorite. When's your favorite time to crack one? Morning time, pre-training, post-training, before bed? What's been the go-to strategy there?
I mean, like now since it's like winter, like probably like after training when I'm just like hanging out watching TV. But my favorite is definitely when I'm like at the beach hanging out with my friends and like it's nice and cold. Like I take it out of the cooler. That's the best part.
Yeah, that's post golfing has been my favorite. I mean, all the time
Yeah.
anyway. Definitely. Wow. Um,
Yeah.
I seen on your recent interview with the UFC, you're looking to buy a house soon, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking into it. I'm not like going to do it like right now. I definitely want to save some money first, but that's definitely a goal that I have like outside of fighting right now.
Yeah, it was one of the things I noticed. I normally do a pretty deep dive on everybody's Instagram before we do these. I've noticed yours is dominated by training, pretty much.
Yeah.
What occupies the free time?
Yeah, I mean, training and I feel like hanging out at the gym and stuff is mostly what I do. I'm kind of into cooking and stuff like that. I feel like if I didn't fight, I probably would have like went to culinary school or something. Um, but other than that, just hanging out. Like especially, I like the summer better because I'll go to the beach and stuff like that. During the winter, there's not as much to do. But yeah, that's mostly what I do.
Yeah, I escaped the cold weather myself. I know all too well being locked down like that's no fun.
Yeah, definitely not.
Um, I guess just going forward, what are some things that you want to accomplish this year?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I just want to get some wins in this year, and work my way up the rankings, get some money, and that's pretty much it for them to have my mindset on right now.
Yeah, the money's important. It's why
Yeah.
you're doing what you do. Since I guess just on the gym side, since that does occupy so much of your time, fatigue's a real thing. I think in everything, it's easy to get burnt out, whether it's in your business or my business. What's kind of something that helps you stay motivated? Like you said, you're there a lot.
Yeah, I feel like especially like right now, I'm not like in a camp or anything, so just maybe focusing on details that I want to improve in. Especially like the longer you've been training, the more you're better at everything. So you need to kind of like narrow it down, and start focusing on particular things. And I feel like that helps keep me motivated. Like I'll watch my fights and be like, oh, like I know how to do that, but I'm not doing it right in the fight, so I know I need to go over it more in order to make it like second nature. And just like you have to know when to give yourself breaks. I feel like anyone that's been like an athlete for a long time kind of knows like the ebbs and flows. And you have to give your body breaks when it needs it. But I feel like just staying focused, having like particular goals that you want to achieve helps me stay like motivated, not like burn out.
So, do you think that possibly another jiu-jitsu match or tournament might be in your future if you don't get the amount of fights that you want this year?
Oh yeah, I mean, you never know. I'm not really sure what's coming up right now, but it's definitely not impossible.
Yeah. I guess on the UFC PI side, what do you think? Do you want to start spending some more time out there? Or you like where you're at right now?
I like my training situation here right now. I love going out whenever I am out there in Vegas. I love like training there. And everything out there is cool. But as of right now, I'm probably just going to stay here and do my regular team, my coaches.
Nice. I guess just for everybody that's watching, younger, that may be interested in possibly getting into a gym, what are some words of advice you'd give them?
I feel like focusing on like finding a coach that works well with you and that you have a good vibe at the gym. And depending on what your goals are, like if you want to compete in Jitsu or kickboxing or Muay Thai, try to like find good coaches for that particular thing that you're looking to do. Yeah, I feel like that'll help you get started.
And just for the normal average Joe like me, what would you recommend on doing? Kickboxing, what do you think would be best?
I think doing all of it would probably be, if you have the time. It depends on what your goals are. Like if you just want to train to get better, then if you're not really looking to compete, you can kind of choose which one you want to do. But I feel like training everything kind of gives you a well-rounded game, and it'll help you be prepared if you ever do need to defend yourself, knowing everything.
Yeah, well, obviously starting so young, do you see a lot of the younger kids in the gym now?
Yeah, I definitely noticed that, like, because I feel like for so long, like everyone's always like, "Oh, you're so young for fighting," and they call me like a kid whenever I'm fighting. But I notice now, like all the younger kids at the gym, they're looking up to me. I'm not super young anymore. I'm 22 now. So definitely having them look up to. I feel like it's another motivator, like to do well, like kind of be a good person, so they can like have something good to look up to.
So no shit talking or throwing dollies.
Definitely no throwing dollies, and I'll keep the shit talking to a minimum.
I don't know. It sells fights. Might be the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you seeing coming up through the rankings? Is there anybody interesting other than me that you think could possibly be joining you on that fast track to the top?
Yeah, as of right now, I think I know Casey O'Neill has a fight coming up with Roxanne, but I know she's someone that they've been kind of pushing pretty hard. She's someone I'd definitely like to fight. I feel like stylistically that'd be a great fight for me. And so I feel like she's the only other person that they're kind of hyping up right now to like fight Valentina in the future. So
You
I
kind of
definitely yeah, kind of like knock her down and be like, no, it's me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess just, this has been a lot of fun. I would like to schedule another one of these after the next fight so we can get some updates on here.
Yeah, definitely.
Where can everybody find you on all the socials? Give everybody your what you got coming up. Where are you going to be?
Yeah, so Blanchfield_MMA is where all my social media platforms will be. And if you're in the area, in the New York area, I'm doing a meet and greet at the Ainsworth Saturday night, and we'll be watching like UFC 270, so you can come hang out, watch the fights in the area.
Speaking of UFC 270, who do you like there? Give us some picks.
For the main event, I'm gonna go with Cyril Gahn. I feel like he's so for a heavyweight, especially, he's pretty talented. He's probably one of the most talented heavyweights I've ever watched fight. So if I had to pick, I'd definitely go with him.
Yeah, it's it has that one punch KO power to deal with on the other side.
Yeah, he definitely does, but I feel like he's so much more well-rounded that I feel like he'll be able to dodge that and probably hit him with his own power.
Yeah, and then what do you think about the co-main?
Wait, who's the co-main?
Figueroa.
Oh, Figueroa and Brendan. Oh, I'm gonna go with Brandon on that one. I think he showed so much improvement when they fought again. And I think he'll be able to edge it out again, if not finish him. So,
yeah. I tell you, he's been a lot of fun to watch. I think he's even more fun on social media sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate everything. We're looking forward to seeing you come in the ring.
Yeah.
Looking forward to getting you back on here after.
Cool,
Appreciate
thank you.
Water.
Yep.
I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it, Erin.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye.